minerals, and this hatchery will go down, and now these zealots will be able to take on, or be taken down by all the forces of Morrow. But Kiwikaki doing a brilliant job blinking into the main there, drawing the forces of Morrow far to the north, and the way that Lost Temple is situated with all these ramps, it can be difficult to get around. Thankfully, Morrow did have that creep spread, so he was able to get to the western edge there, but not before the hatchery did go down. So one hatchery and one lair down, and Morrow, again, having to get up that lair, getting it in the natural this time, so a little bit safer from that blink micro. And he knows that a mothership is on the field, and the mothership looks like moving into position here. He does have enough for one more mass recall. These corruptors going to be trouble against this mothership, though. They get a corruption on it, so they're just taking 20% extra damage using that vortex, trying to get all those corruptors in the vortex and retreat with that mothership. He wants to keep that mothership alive. Costs a lot of minerals and takes a lot of time to replace. So these Blink Stalkers going to do their best against those corruptors, setting down a number of force fields there, trying to keep those roaches and those hydras at bay. The corruptors on a beeline for that mothership, though, blinking back, trying to take out the corruptors. It looks like that mothership will go down, but at the cost of most of the corruptors of Morrow. So Kiwikaki doing a lot of damage to the army. If we check the army tab, 4,900 to 3,800. But again, the Zerg player is on a lot of bases at this point. If we check the income, 77 harvesters for each, both about 2,000 minerals per minute, and their spending could be a little bit better, both around 2,000 minerals, but they have been maxed for quite a while. Now we see the Blink Stalkers engaging against these roaches and hydras. Morrow going to do his best to shoot and scoot. He wants to get close to these Stalkers, getting the hydras bottled up a little bit there. And nice blink micro coming from Kiwikaki. Anytime one of these Stalkers gets low, going to blink it to the back so it can keep on shooting. And that's going to really allow him to do a ton of damage against these hydras. More hydras coming in from the north, trying to get some reinforcements. And it looks like pretty even here, but those hydras may go down. And now Kiwikaki may be able to snipe off a few of those corruptors or these spine crawlers. Again, using this blink micro against the spine crawlers can be very good. Anytime they do auto-target, you can just blink backwards and they'll pick up a new stalker. Now Roaches and Hydralis moving into position for Morrow. Gonna again take on these Blink Stalkers. Kiwi doing another brilliant job blinking back anytime one of the anytime one of the Stalkers gets low, and just chewing through a lot of Roaches and Hydralis. But at some point, all of your Stalkers are low. You have to get out of there. One more defensive blink could do it. But instead he's going to hold the line and now push forward. He wants to take down as many corruptors as he can. Another mothership almost done. So wow, 3,600 to 1,600 for Kiwikaki, and he's using these Blink Stalkers, using that mass recall brilliantly right now. Really controlling the pace of the game, putting Morrow back on the defensive, and Morrow no longer spreading creep. That's something you do forget about as the game gets a little bit more hectic. So Kiwi, another whole round of Stalkers. It looks like we have a ton of gateways. I believe he's got, looks like 2 short of a baker's dozen there. So he's got a 14, actually one more than a baker's dozen, 14 gateways on the field, and now maybe going for another attack into the main. He's got the Mothership and the Observer there, giving him high round sight, but the Zergling's going to be very good against the Blink Stalkers. Blinking in, trying to pick off as many Zerglings as they can. The Zerglings can get a decent surround on the Stalkers, start chewing through them quite easily. But it looks like the Cloak going to be too much to handle right now for Morrow. He does have a Overseer on the way, so he's going to need to get that into position. Nice concave there as he does prepare this counterattack. He's got the Corruptor, going to try to focus down this Mothership with those Hydralis, and it will go down quite easily. And now he also has an Infestor getting some fungal growth on those Stalkers, preventing that blink. He's got a lot of Hydras and Zerglings chasing down these Stalkers. Another fungal growth could be deadly. Yes, going to pick off both the Observer and a few Stalkers there. So Morrow putting an end to a second Mothership. Looks like he's got a Overlord marking his territory in Kiwikaki's base. Kiwi getting both a 4th and a 5th. He likes to protect the his 3rd, 4th, and 5th expansions with those photon cannons. You'll see him not having too much mobile defense, and it looks like I missed a drop here on the western edge. With those Zealots, they were able to take down another hatchery. So we see Fungal Growth going to be stopping those Zealots in place and cleaning them up with those Hydralis, so that one pesky probe was able to drop 2 pylons and take down 2 hatcheries. As we see Kiwi pushing in again, the army is out of position for Morrow, so coming in with a number of Zealots with +3 attack, so they're going to try to chew through these Zerglings, protect those Stalkers, but it looks like the Stalkers are going to leave the those Zealots to be, as they do die to all those Zerglings. If we check the army tab, it is 2,600 to 2,100. So Morrow now taking the lead. He also has the Infestors on the field, going to be able to stop that Blink Micro. And with just the basic units of Kiwikaki, the Stalkers, I have a feeling these Hydralisks are going to be very effective. He's got the 2-1 attack right now. The Stalkers 3-1, but again, the Stalkers have a much slower attack speed. Their bonus damage is against armored only, so those Hydras are going to rip them apart, adding a number of sentries to this army as well. So Kiwi going to want to try to control the mid-game action with force fields best that he can. So we see the Overlord just taking a tour through the base of Kiwikaki. He's going to see the Robotics Bay with the Extended Thermal Lance on the way, and finally sees that Fleet Beacon. I'm sure he wanted to know about that a little bit before, getting up his 5th hatchery once again. So we will soon be on 5 bases. He has fallen behind a little bit. We see that Kiwikaki has the advantage, about 1,700 minerals per minute compared to the 1,500 of the Zerg, cleaning up all the excess Overlords in his base. And now we see the mothership popping again. So Kiwikaki very persistent with his mothership play. 400, 400, but again, in a very large macro game like this, it can be the difference between a win or a loss, using that mass recall, using that cloak, and the vortex also very underused. So it looks like Morrow heavily invested in Hydralisks, almost 2 pages worth at this point. If we check the unit counting station, 41 Hydras, now 3 Ultras on the way as well. So with these Infestors going to be able to lay down those fungal growths, the Hydras and the Ultras going to be able to get a good concave and get right up on those Stalkers and just start chewing through them. Looks like Kiwikaki reacting to the play of his opponent, getting out some Colossus to take down those Hydralisks, and not many Corruptors on the field for Morrow. They are all taken down by those Blink Stalkers, and instead of Corruptors, he has been going for Hydralisks to try to take down the mothership. So I'm not sure he's going to be able to be prepared to take on these Colossi. Again, the Colossi with 3 attacks, so doing 21 damage in 2 attacks across the way. It looks like Morrow preparing a drop into the main here. So we'll be dropping into the main, and also looks like he has a drop coming into the southern position as well. So dropping in the main, trying to take down a number of warp gates. Kiwikaki reacting, blinking up here, trying to take down all these Hydralisks. Meanwhile, in the center of the field, Morrow is pushing in, moving into position. The Infestor is doing a nice job fungal growthing these Stalkers, but I'm not sure that Hydralisks are going to be able to take them on. Meanwhile, in the southern portion, Morrow able to take on all these Zealots. The Ultra is doing a very nice job slicing through them, using that cleave. And then in the center of the map, it looks like a Vortex going down as Kiwikaki losing another mothership and loading up all of his units into this Vortex. He's going to want to get those Colossi into that Vortex as well, taking down all of the Hydras and the Ultralisks. So a 3-pronged attack coming from Morrow, beautifully defensed by Kiwikaki. Able to use those Blink Stalkers in the main, taking down all those Hydralisks, and just none of the attacking forces were large enough for Morrow. Now Kiwikaki pushing across the field. He's got a 6-pack of Colossi. They're going to be very, very good against these Hydras and these Ultralisks, especially if he's able to keep them in the back of the field. So it looks like those Ultras and Hydralisks being melted to this Colossi, and the Corruptors going down to the Stalkers. Wow, so a very nice game from these 2 players. That last attack by Morrow, very surprising. It was a 3-pronged attack into the main, into the southern portion, and right into the heart of his opponent. Those photon cannons and the mothership there providing enough defense for Kiwikaki to clean up both his main and that southern base, and then finally come back, got that Vortex down, loaded up some Colossus, and once those Hydras and those Ultras popped out, it was just game over for Morrow. But again, you see the styles of both players. Kiwikaki, you just can't predict what he's going to be able to do here. He uses units in ways that I've never seen before. Both players, phenomenal micro, Blink micro with those Stalkers. Even the micro at the very start with that Zealot and those Zerglings. Morrow keeping those Zerglings alive, and that's the quality of player that these two top pros are. Morrow doing a nice job macroing up like he likes to do. Kiwikaki using those proxy pylons as well, punishing his opponent for staying spread out and sort of pulling him in different directions at different points in the game, up to that north with those Blink Stalkers getting the mass recall at the same time as those Zealots took down that western base. So very interesting and great play from both players. If you're looking for more StarCraft 2 action, encourage you to check out my channel Matron StarCraft. Even if you watch my videos on another site, encourage you to watch them on YouTube. A lot of times those sites don't post all the videos that I come out with. So if you're ever watching on a different site, you can click on the bottom right hand corner to watch the video on YouTube, subscribe, and you'll be able to be caught up with all the games I come out with. I love casting these players. I was able to find this off the Root Gaming website, and so I figured Kiwikaki and Morrow would give us a good show, and I'm glad they did. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.